Guild Wars 2 is an absolutely fantastic game, but what makes it actually different than the others?
What makes Guild Wars 2 so special compared to other MMOs? I don't know if
Futas.
you guys have noticed lately, but it seems that everybody and their mother has been playing Guild Wars 2 lately, checking
Same.
out this old MMO, seeing what it's all about, giving it another chance. But for many people, they weren't around or they had no interest in MMOs when Guild Wars 2 first came out. They don't even know.
I was. Me and my friend played. It was a pretty good experience, but we stopped playing. Not because it was bad, but, you know, it just happened. We stopped playing.
What makes Guild Wars 2 different from, let's say, RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, other popular MMOs. And so in this rather short video, I would like to go into the several things that makes Guild Wars 2 stand out compared to other MMOs. Number 1, dynamic events. Guild Wars 2 features a dynamic event system in which events will occur organically out in the open world based on player actions. As you're leveling in Guild Wars 2, you will find these events all over the place. You'll be helping defend a farm from some bandits, you'll be helping to repair something, you'll be helping with all manner of things. And the best part—
And none of these events, by the way, are mandatory at all. You can choose to ignore them, you can choose to do whatever. You can literally walk around the map, and when you see an event, you can just join it if you want. It's pretty good.
Part is, typically these events will lead into other events. You might have an event that begins with you defending, let's say, a farm from some bandits, but slowly this sort of event storyline will progress to you actually fighting the bandit chieftain and taking down the bandit camp. And the cool thing about these events is they dynamically change the world. If, for example, you were—
The true cool thing about these events is the fact that sometimes the bosses are so strong you can't actually solo them at the end, and then it's bad.
To fail the event at defending that farm would be destroyed, and a whole new event would begin where you have to repair it. The dynamic event system in Guild Wars 2 makes leveling incredibly enjoyable because it adds a sense of unpredictability, excitement, and replayability to the level up experience in this game. People love it.
I would say it's 80% true. That statement is, yeah, roughly 80% true. It's not as dynamic, it's not that interesting sometimes, but it is there. And the thing he did not mention is, well, the big thing about the events is you actually need players around for them to happen. So, if you're playing a race that doesn't have a lot of players in the starting zones or whatever, you're probably not going to see a lot of events. For example, if you play human, which you, by the way, should 100% do, and I'm probably going to have the ability to talk about that a little bit later on, you're going to see a lot of events. If you play 3-person, you're not exactly going to see that many events. You're still going to see events, but it's going to be like 1/3 of what the humans see.
And for good reason. Number 2, no subscription fee. Just want to say this really fast. Unlike many other MMOs, Guild Wars 2 does not require a monthly subscription fee. Players can buy this game once and play it as much as they desire without any additional costs. Now, I know that this immediately is going to raise the question of, is Guild Wars 2 pay to win?
Nope.
And the answer to that question is yes, if fashion is your objective.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Guild Wars 2 has a ton of cosmetic stuff to offer in regards to its cash shop, but in regards to making you permanently more powerful just by giving the developers $100 here or there, that doesn't exist in this game.
Yep.
It's the kind of subscription model, or lack thereof, that people appreciate. No subscription fee, you let players play the game, and the stuff that you can get are just minor convenience options as well as cosmetic stuff. Before we continue though, I do want to give a quick shout out to this channel's sponsor, Zygor. If you are a World of Warcraft player and you're looking for the ultimate add-on for leveling, achievement farming, pet collecting, whatever you want, check out Zygor down in the description below. Give it a try. See if you like it. Much appreciated, guys. Big shout out to Zygor for helping us create the content here at Nick.
Golden professions, leveling, daily quiz, dungeons, reputations. Wow. Huh.
Number 3, level scaling. Now this one's going to be a little bit controversial, and I understand if there are comments down in the comments section that say that this is a really bad thing. To each their own. Guild Wars 2 has a level scale system, and this means horizontal progression. In a game like World of Warcraft, for example, if you hit max level in the game and you go back to the starting areas or go back to, just some of the early questing zones, you're obviously going to be higher level, you're going to be able to one-shot the mobs, so on and so forth. Guild Wars 2 doesn't work like this. Once you hit level 80, if you go back to starting area...
I mean, true, but you still end up pretty much just clicking a button and it happens, It's not such a big deal. The bigger deal, I would say, in the game is the fact that, you can be a level 1 in a level 30 zone and be fine. Well, not really, but, close, I guess. Wait, or did they remove that? I don't remember. Previously, that existed. I haven't tried it now, so maybe it doesn't exist. I'm currently playing it, by the way, slowly but steadily, an hour a day. The leveling doesn't take that long.
Areas or lower level quest zones, you're actually going to be downscaled so that you can't just run around and one-shot things. The idea is that you can go back and actually experience this content and it's actually engaging. It's not something that you can just burn through, but there are a lot of people that aren't going to like this because they want that progression of power. Now,
again, it's not a problem. You constantly see people trying to 100% the map by doing all the quests, all the things and activities, and early level zones, and they pretty much just one-shot everything.
If you are a lower level player, for example, as you traverse the world, you will find that there are zones that are going to be much higher level than you. This really just applies at max level, if this makes sense. Number 4, a unique combat system. Tab targeting MMOs are all over the place, and you either love it or you hate it. Guild Wars 2 is not tab targeting. It features an action-oriented combat system instead that will require players to move and to dodge and to switch weapons. It does a lot. It adds a lot of excitement and skill-based gameplay to combat encounters, and honestly, you're going to quickly find if you give Guild Wars 2 a chance that this is probably going to be the most enjoyable element of the game for you. Just trying out the different weapons, rolling around, dodging, doing all sorts of stuff. The combat system in Guild Wars 2, in my opinion, is its big shining light, especially when you start fighting bosses.
Yeah, the combat system is pretty good, honestly.
Number 5. Player versus player content. Guild Wars 2 has several different types of PvP gameplay, including structured PvP, your traditional battlegrounds and such, as well as world versus world combat. These modes both offer a unique and awesome experience that very few MMOs have. How cool is it to be able to get together with a giant army, go with siege vehicles and stuff, conquer territory? Not many MMOs give us.
Well, actually, it's not that cool, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of not that super cool. It's kind of super basic, honestly. Yeah, and it takes a long time. You don't get a lot done, but you get the reward, so that's nice.
This type of gameplay because it's so, it can be very laggy and it can be very stressful on the MMO servers. But thankfully, MMOs like Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online give us the opportunity to actually feel like we're fighting in a proper war. And this is something that makes Guild Wars 2 a lot of fun. If you're into world versus world combat, that is. Number 6, a personal story. No matter who your character is, and no matter what choices that you make in the beginning when you're creating your character, Guild Wars 2 has a personal story for each and every player.
Okay, doesn't seem like he's going to talk about this, but if you're going to play Guild Wars, you need to remember one crucial thing. You should probably just pick human, okay? Unless you specifically know that you want to be the bulky furry dude. You should pick 100% human, okay? Without exceptions. 100% human. Because it's the most basic, good-looking model out there. Because you cannot even pay them to switch your race. Which would be absolutely amazing. So, if you pick a 3-person, well, one day you may actually decide, wait a minute, I kind of look so ugly compared to, just a basic human female. And the only solution to that is just create a new character. So, if you're not sure, just pick the basic human, because the model is good, and the racials don't matter actually that much. I'm not even sure if... No, there are racials. Some. But I really don't think they honestly matter at the grand scheme of things. So, be smart. Pick a human unless you are 100% certain that you are going to be able to play that other race constantly. Because you can only make a new character. Okay? If you don't like how you look, there's only one option.
Which will unfold more and more as a player progresses throughout the game. It adds a sense of immersion, it teaches you the lore, it introduces you to the greater world, and overall, it just gets you more personally invested in the game's world and the characters. Speaking only for myself, this is not something that I have gotten to explore too much of on my characters that I've been checking out the game with, and it's something I'm looking forward to, as immersion is a huge reason as to why I play MMORPGs. But so far, the personal story that I have had with my character has been a lot of fun.
Oh, and an interesting thing about the personal story and whatnot is the fact that even if you play, like, for example, the human for the 5th time in a row, you will probably experience different leveling progression, because every zone pretty much just branches off. Like, do you want to go in this direction, that direction, maybe you want to go in that direction. And you can do all of that without any problems. You don't have to complete zones of 100% or anything. You can just go wherever you please. And that's how usually it works. The human starting zone has like 4 directions in which you can actually go, technically. Well, you're supposed to do, like, some things that teach you the basics. But other than that, you can go in whichever direction you want, pretty much. And you're going to be able to play the game. So, getting a different experience, even leveling in the same starting zone, is not that bad. Also, there's a thing that actually the starting zones are unlocked and you can teleport to any race's starting zone. The only problem is, well, you need to know where they are on the map. Otherwise, you can't click on them and teleport there, which is kind of a little bit of a strange thing, but it's there.
7. No traditional healing classes. So if you've ever played other MMOs, there's typically a healing class or a healing spec. You know, the priest in World of Warcraft, the Jedi Consular in Star Wars The Old Republic, whatever it is. Now, unlike other MMOs, Guild Wars 2 didn't really want to have this sort of approach of having a really good healing class compared to other classes. To give an example, in World of Warcraft...
Dude, I think the healing classes are going to go away as a concept pretty soon, because World of Warcraft is currently having the problem that no one wants to heal. In Burning Crusade Classic, no one wanted a tank. You had to wait like 2 hours to get a basic dungeon run tank. But in World of Warcraft, no one wants to heal currently, at least in retail, as much as I have heard. You're literally waiting like an hour for a healer to join up in PvP. Well, PvP, you wait 30 minutes minimum for PvP in general. But, no one wants to play healers. It's pretty insane.
Warcraft Classic, priests are the best healers in the game. Warriors cannot heal at all. How Guild Wars 2 approached this is they wanted to have no traditional healing class, meaning that all the classes have access to some form of healing abilities, and players are encouraged to work together to support each other in combat. It doesn't matter if you're a warrior, a necromancer, an engineer, all the classes can heal to some degree, meaning that everybody is responsible for everybody else's survival. And number 8, the world is alive and being updated. When Guild Wars 2 first came out, a lot of people thought it was going to be the WoW killer. And for a time, it was doing very, very well, but it slowly trickled off and kind of faded into obscurity. And a lot of people probably think that Guild Wars 2 has just been a dead MMO, but you'd be surprised. This game has
It's actually very lively. You make a new character pretty much, I'm pretty sure, in every zone, even though I have not tried it. Like, if you make a character in the human zone, there's always, like, at least 3 new characters, which are not bots, by the way, because you can tell their movement is so erratic and stupid, though there's no way those are bots, okay? A bot can never fake how stupid humans can move and stupid things that they can do, okay? There's always new people there. It's like, people really like the game. The friend I was playing Guild Wars when it came out, he turns out still plays Guild Wars. He doesn't do any of the endgame raiding too much, but he enjoys leveling. He has multiple max classes, you know?
Continued to maintain a player population. It has continued to...
And he's a filthy casual, by the way, in case you're watching. You're trash.
Pump out expansion packs. I mean, goodness gracious, Blizzard pixel for pixel copied Dragon Flying from Guild Wars 2 and put it in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. Even to this day in 2023, Guild Wars 2 is still getting regular updates to the game's...
Oh, the update part is really big. So, a thing that Guild Wars players are actually complaining about was the fact that, well, you're max level, you do these things, something new comes along, you know, an expansion, you do that, and then there's a huge content drought. Now, this is not a problem for new players because it's horizontal progression. You have shit tons of the things to do, okay? But, if you are a player who has done everything of it, you know, an expansion comes like how often? Like once every how many years? And the developers of Guild Wars have said they're going to actually change it. They're going to make smaller content updates, but more frequently. Which means there's not going to be such huge content droughts and people are going to play them more often. And by the way, Guild Wars is a great example of what's currently happening to a lot of MMOs. Because the reality is, to make a decent MMO, it seems like you need to input your 10 years, you know? Path of Exile wasn't good when it launched. It took 10 years for it to become an actual good game. Guild Wars, same thing. Now with all the content, with all the things that have been added, it's a good game and people love it. It really takes a long time for an MMO to become successful like this.
Story, the world through these living world updates. New content is being added to the game, new areas, new events. It keeps the game feeling fresh and exciting for its player base. So yeah, maybe now with this video, maybe you see why people are giving Guild Wars 2 a chance these days. Guild Wars 2 isn't just some game that's currently trending right now for no reason at all. It's a game that's genuinely very good, and it deserves the praise.
Oh, and by the way, the gameplay of every class is pretty unique, you know? It definitely feels unique. In any case, that's pretty much it. That was a Nixium video. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sin. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.